A few weeks ago now, I did a video on the top 10 most wanted Total War titles, but it was historical only. Go check out that video if you want to see it. But a lot of the comments were actually people wanting a fantasy title instead. Now I would prefer historical, well it depends what they go for I guess. But here is your top 10 most wanted fantasy titles, so it's getting its own video. And when I say your, this is not my opinion that I'm showing, although I'll show my opinion throughout. I sent it out a survey last week, and where people could rank the ones that they want from a list of 10, which were preset by people in Discord, and these are the results that you came up with. So yeah, let's start this off in 10th place. Which one did you rank at the bottom? And I expected this one, the Narnia universe. I expected this one, but I thought I would just put it in here because, you know, some people do like it, some people did rank it up higher, but overall it did get 10th place, as I did expect. This will be super difficult for the developers to do, and I doubt sales will be that high. Maybe about 10 years ago, even then it would struggle. In 9th place, now I actually ranked this one up very high, and this one was for Total War to create their own fantasy universe, like just throw in whatever they come up with. So it's not based off any mythology, or maybe they can base it on mythology, borrow some stuff, but the entire thing is their own design. And not only that, but you can design your own mythological faction, or fantasy faction, like you can do in Stellaris, so there'll be a lot of customization of how you can build your nation up. I thought that was a really good idea. I ranked this up at like 4th or 5th, but sadly you all put it in 9th. Now of course this video, what I said was, it's going to exclude Warhammer 3 Total War, but I decided to put Warhammer 40k in there, because a lot of people wanted to see it, and that does come in 8th place. It's not as high as I thought it would be, given that Warhammer is the current set of Total Wars, but then again, maybe people are tired of it and want to see another universe. In 7th place, this is one that I really do want to see. A mythical or magical medieval Total War. So it will be like Medieval 2 Total War, or I guess Medieval 3 Total War, but it will involve magic, mythical creatures, and like Robin Hood, King Arthur, lots of stuff like that. So it is Medieval Total War, but with mythology. Actually, that could make a very good expansion on Medieval 3. Oh, that'd be really good. Like, not with the actual game, but as an expansion pack. Ooh, I'd buy that. Number 6. Now, a few years ago, this would have been much higher on the list, but since its final season, I bet that's why it's dropped down to number 6. Game of Thrones. I can imagine there's a lot of epic battles and settlements to create with this game, but yeah, I'm surprised that it got this low on the list. I thought like this would be competing with first place. You can probably guess what first place is, like that's the obvious one. I thought Game of Thrones would compete with that, and maybe a few years ago it would have done, but yeah, 6th place right now. Number 5, War of All Mythologies. I do really like this idea. So it's like you'll have Greek mythology in the Greek region, in Egypt on the world map you'll have the Egyptian mythologies, Chinese, Viking, and all the mythologies are on one map. So it'd be like some global Bronze Age Total War, but mythology. I think that could be really epic. It'd be a lot like Warhammer, I guess, in a way. And you could like have some way how, you know, in Empire Total War you can teleport your troops to a different location, like Europe to the Americas for example. You could have portals like that, where you can send troops to Atlantis or the underworld, or like different areas in different mythologies that are not accessible on the real world. Oh, that'd be really good. I think I put this in 3rd place, but you put it in 5th. In 4th place, I'm actually surprised it got this high, Viking mythology. I admit it could be a good game, but I thought, they've of course done Thrones of Britannia, they've explored the Vikings quite a bit. It would be a weird map as well, Viking mythology. I can understand why people would want a Viking Total War, but one that involves their gods as well. I don't know, I wouldn't have put it this high, but if people want to see it, then people want to see it. In 3rd place, I've never actually played this game, but I know it's popular and a lot of people did demand that this was on the list. the Elder Scrolls, or, as I put it here, Skyrim. Whatever you want to call it. I'm not that familiar with the universe at all. Apparently I wrote the wrong thing, I was meant to write Elder Scrolls. I don't know. But yeah, third place on this list, and clearly people do want to see this as a Total War title. Will it ever happen? I highly doubt it, but it's interesting to think about. Second place is really interesting, because if you remember in my last video, where it was top 10 historical titles, well, the most wanted ones, the second, third and fourth place were all involving the Greeks. There was Bronze Age, there was, I think, Alexander and the Diadochi, and what was the other one? I think it was just a general Greek city-states or something like that. So yeah, second, third and fourth place all involved ancient Greece in some way. And in second place on the fantasy title, you're going with Greek mythology. So yeah, it would have your usual like, Greek units versus Greek units with the city-states, phalanx warfare, but throwing some mythology in there could really make it so that the phalanx warfare doesn't become too dry. Like, it adds a different element to the battles, and I think that could just make the entire game really interesting. As I was on about with portals earlier, maybe have a portal to Atlantis, one to the Underworld, one to Olympus, so you can fight there. Or maybe just have them as special battles at the end. It could be super interesting. I'd love to see a Greek mythology Total War. And we could do so much stuff with random events like some form of Odyssey tale as you're sailing your troops back home or something like that. It's a lot of potential. There's a lot of potential. Most of the creativity is already done. It's very accessible. A lot of people know Greek mythology. Could be a really good title. And storming up to first place, this was like 100% going to be first place from the very start. Its average is a 2.43, which means I'll say at least 40% put it on first. It's impossible to tell really, but that's just my guess. Probably even 50% put it on first. I would say 90% of people put it in the top 3, but this is just my guess. The Lord of the Rings Total War. This is on my first place as well. This is one that I really want to see. Now, it doesn't just have to be the Lord of the Rings. I just put like Middle Earth in brackets. Like, they can do the Second Age, the Third Age, just focusing on the Hobbit era. I don't know why I'd focus on the Hobbit era, but I mean the time period when the Hobbit is set, so before the One Ring is given to Frodo. Whatever they do with the Lord of the Rings as a Total War game, I think it could be really good. Especially with the new system they're going towards with heroes. I know a lot of you don't like heroes, and I'm kind of on the same path, but with the Lord of the Rings, that could really work well. It would be beautiful. I'm just imagining it all now. Wow. I really want to play that. So yeah, the Lord of the Rings Total War. One that I really do want to see, one that all of you clearly want to see as well. Like, just look at the difference in score between first place and second place with those. I think the Lord of the Rings Total War requires its own series. Like, just looking into all the possibilities they can do, just talk about all the creative potential of this game. I think I might do it someday. Just like 2 or 3 parts every Sunday, have community opinions in there too. Could be a good series, I might do it. But anyway, those have been your top 10 most wanted fantasy titles. Now, please feel free to comment down below one idea that you want to see that was not on this list. I've been MELKOR, subscribe for more, like if you have enjoyed, and share with anyone you think may be interested. Hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.